Jake?
Ross, just in terms of the occasion, was it nice personally for you to be able to go out there at the end and give a hug to the boys that you've spent so much time with over their careers?
Yeah, it was. Look, I'm a Fremantle coach, but part of their history, so it was just nice for me to be able to acknowledge it. And I was disappointed with, us. We should have been able to play a little bit better, but yeah, it was a nice moment. But moved on pretty quickly. We've got a pretty exciting time. Really, we're double chance and. We'll get back and have a good week on the track. The only team in Perth in the final, so it's pretty exciting for us. And a big adventure lays in front of us.
Was that pretty much your message to the boys straight after the game? Just let's move on.
Yeah, pretty much. It's the pretend season's over and the real one starts. People have earned the right to have a crack at trying to win a premiership. So, and there's 4 with a double chance, of which we're one. Just to our young players that played, I thought we gave a lot of effort, but they understand why we're so demanding over pre-season and Monday to Friday and how much we focus on preparation, because when you get out there, there's nowhere to hide, So they learn about the demands, but I thought we competed really well. We lost Clancy Pearce in the first 30 seconds that we're always going to be under some pressure, but Jack Hanneth went back and played really well down there, and we had a priority to rotate our guys that are regulars, and it put some pressure on the younger ones and some other guys. So, look, overall, I was pleased with our effort, and we had real moments in the game. I think second quarter, equal entries, outscored them, and But overall, they were just a bit. Montagno and Del Sano, their class just shone a bit,
What's time on in Geelong at the moment? Just entering time on, it's only 8 points.
Yeah.
Are you at all concerned that by resting those blokes, you may have cost yourself a home final?
Well, I haven't got the crystal ball, so who's in front? Geelong? Yeah.
But
Well, it's out of my control, it's a risk you take. Well, that's life.
It's a risk you're comfortable with, knowing what you know.
Well, clearly we took it, so it was a risk we're comfortable with, yeah. You play the percentages. Sometimes it doesn't work your way.
With Pearce, he's done a cup, is that right?
Yeah.
So was that a no-risk policy taking off, or is he pinned that there will be no chance next week?
Yeah, there'll be no chance next week.
So it must be a blow to him and obviously himself.
Yeah, it's a blow. Yeah, he won't play and we can't pick him.
You expect all the guys who didn't play today to come back in? Obviously, Gibson pulled out as well.
Would have what?
Do you expect all the guys who missed today to come back next week now?
No, we've got to get through a week. Yeah, no, not all of them. There's some injuries within there. There's some concerns. So we'll deal with that in due course.
Tell us, Gibson, how close was he?
Well, he did a fitness test this morning and failed, so...
Can he come back in now, do you think, considering the amount of...
Well, he'd need to pass a fitness test.
Has he got the aerobic ability to come in here?
Yeah, certainly.
Yep. You talk about the kids. Josh Simpson showed patches today as your first draft pick.
The Yalgu Express, yeah, he showed patches.
Where do you see him going from here?
I see him doing a really hard pre-season, putting on some weight, learning to compete harder for longer, and building an AFL career like Neil's done, Crosby's done, and Sheridan and Sutcliffe. That's where he sits. He's doing some hard work. He's had some... look, it's a big shift from a young boy, 500 kilometres inland of Perth. You know better than me, the challenges. So, and he's a young father with 2 children. So the transition's pretty significant for him, and it's not as easy as it is for most 18-year-olds. So he's hung in there and he's worked. He's got a taste of it, and he'll need to continue to grow and adapt to the changes of AFL football. It's on record. Young Indigenous footballers, the transition, particularly from the country lads. So we've wrapped all the resources around, but he's still got some significant challenges to establish himself in our team.
Forster and Moller on their boots?
Yeah, I thought they both showed signs. I thought Moller was, in particular, really exciting. I just thought where he's going to be in 3 years, it's really exciting for us. He's quick, he competes, and yeah, really exciting. And I thought Alex whacked away, without being anything special.
Ross, do you think just with the 12, what ended up being 12 changes, is that, I think this happened when you were at St Kilda, you went down to Tasmania, played Hawthorn,
yeah.
About 7 of your best players didn't play.
9, yeah.
9, whatever it was, and you actually
No, it was 9, yeah.
But,
well, we're talking about it. We must be accurate.
No, is it
Journalistic rigour, Jake. We apply rigour and we give it a shake and we they're the facts. We don't run with half measures, do we, Jake? No.
There was a large number of changes. But is this something?
9. Yeah.
Is this something that would happen more so with the West Australian team because of the travel?
Look, I can't speak for West Coast, and look, my experience at the red, white, and black was different because it was round 20. So we thought we'll get the benefit. And we struggled. We lost our next 2, so I was acutely aware of that by point to point. But we certainly got the benefit in the final series. So previously in the last game, my experience personally was Milne and Snyder Adelaide, and they had a really good first final. But look, to this amount and at this time for me wasn't an experience I've had. So I was certainly guided and ultimately allowed it. But Western Australian teams do have some uniqueness. There's no doubt about that. So I watched Hawthorn and Sydney. I thought it was a terrific game last night. But at the end of the day, I lived in Sydney. It's an hour and a half door to door. You're tucked up under your doona with your water bottle. So, and next week Hawthorn will play in Melbourne. So whereas us, it's you get delayed on the tarmac. So you get a 4:30 flight. You get it delayed on the tarmac for an hour. That's 5:30. It's a 3-hour flight, that's 8:30. You adjust your clock when you land, that's 10:30. So we're getting to the hotel at 11:15 because typically we can get an earlier flight at 3. Okay, so as it is, we've had great difficulty getting Virgin to give us a 3 o'clock flight because of scheduling. So as it sits now, we're on a 4:30 this Thursday coming. So if that was to happen again, our players are getting to the hotel at 12 o'clock because we can't get a flight scheduled. So that was all part of it. And so then they'll shower and they'll go, and we're happy to travel, but they'll then go to the airport, sit, wait, get on. Hopefully there's no delays, 3 hours. So it is significant to do it back to back. And fortunately, the AFL, when I speak to Peter Sumich in the past, they used to fly back to back 2 weeks in a row during the year, but the common sense has prevailed and it's alternate weeks. So when you're alternate weeks the whole year, it doesn't really stack up that in your first final you would like to go back to back, hence the management.
Because it was done 3 years ago with the...
It was done at round 21.
Yep.
It was done around, let's be clear, it was done at round 21. They played Carlton the next week, beat Carlton to go into finals. So it was done 2 weeks out, so it is slightly different.
So you're going to campaign to get a different flight this week now?
No, look, it's out of my control. I'm just telling you the challenges and part of the decision making.
And what about the Kardinia Park factor? Because the clubs...
Simmons Stadium.
Simmons Stadium.
Eh?
Simmons Stadium. Geelong, playing at Geelong.
Yeah.
As distinct from playing here.
Yeah.
What's your view on that?
Well, I haven't really got a view except that I'm aware of it, and our club put a view forward. So the club representation was we think our members and fans, we haven't experienced that many top 4 double chances, should have the best opportunity to get and watch that game. So we know early in the year we have members and fans that couldn't get a seat or a ticket down there because what does it sit? 30? How many members they got? 40,000? So I wouldn't think there'd be too many floating around for the Dockers. So, but outside of that, we're an anywhere, anytime team. We'll go and play. But I mean, I suppose at the start of the year, you thought if you finished third, you wouldn't be playing in a regional centre. You'd be playing in a metropolis at world-class venues. But it's out of my control.
Have you addressed that with the players considering all the talk's been about?
No, not at all. Players just play, mate. I kick a footy knee, they'll go and compete. Geelong and Dockers. So.
It was on the table at the start of the year, though, that with the redevelopment, Simmons could be available for a final.
Was it? Yeah, that's fantastic. So it will happen. Yeah, terrific.
It's just the fact that it's come in the last week is a bit of a problem.
Not a problem for me. We'll go down and play.
You said before the game you were a bit bemused by the talk about the players going out. Now that the dust has settled, you're happy with the results that you got?
I was bemused. I understand everyone's interest, and we're paid to make decisions, and we leave ourselves open to criticism. But every time you pull on an AFL jumper, you're an AFL coach, you get critiqued every week. So that's okay. It's there's no right and wrong in this. It's just a value judgment of what's important, and at the end of the day, results will dictate. So if we go down and lose and play poorly or whatever, that will come back. But that's okay. The people that care about it are the people that wrote it and the people in it, and it's tomorrow's fish and chip paper.
How big a challenge this week is to get your management of players who are match fit versus players who have got suppose, the runs on the board who haven't necessarily played in terms of being retained for finals.
No, you're right. Yeah, it's a hard thing to balance, but we're pretty confident we'll do that.
What are the guys who didn't come over do on the weekend? Just running? Or...
Yeah, no, they trained footy this morning, kick, ground ball, tackle, run and worked, and really tightly measured and controlled. You can do them to the sprint distance you want and gut run distance. So our head conditioner stayed behind with them and worked them really hard.
How Bridge and Soundlands where you want them to be? I mean, they've had the interrupted seasons. Are they ready to go for next week?
Yeah, look, I don't think it's been perfect for them, but there's certainly the expectation is they're ready to go. You know, as Matthew's had 4 in a row now, I thought he showed some really good moments, and it's been a challenge for him though. It's a credit to him, and Aaron obviously when he started to get going, and but he'll be better for the run after you've had a bit of a facial and you're not sure. I thought in the end he'll be more instinctive and aggressive next week, I would think.
Will he wear the helmet still next week?
I know you'd have to ask him. I've got no idea.
And what's McFarlane's situation? Will he definitely play?
Yeah, he'll be up for selection. Will we pick him? I was always definite to pick him, but then it becomes more mitigating circumstances about and different variables. So is it best for him to play or not play? I think we'll have to answer that question at selection as a match committee. Do you know what I mean? Because it's a risk, obviously.
Was Clancy Pierce's calf a re-aggravation of the injuries he's had the last few weeks, or was it just...
I've been told it isn't. It's a different calf, but that information could be wrong.
You're officially playing over here, Geelong won by a point.
Yeah, that's nice. See? Good judgment.
True.
Sorry, just the fact that they won by a point.
Means they get 4 points and they're second and we're third. I get the interest. Look, it'd be a different conversation if they had a loss, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would be.
Yeah.
They have a great record at home, but the fact that this was a very close game for them today, does that give you guys any further confidence that...
Oh, look, I like the Lee Matthews. If it bleeds, you can kill it. Thanks, guys.